Good afternoon, sir. Brahmay sir. Brahmay sir, good afternoon. People are joining slowly. So today's resource person is Professor
Rakesh Chandra.
Rakesh Chandra sir. So
Rakesh Chandra.
Mr. M. Krishna, Rakesh Chandra sir. Mr. M. Krishna, Assistant Professor of AAA Department, will now introduce Rakesh Chandra sir to the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to introduce today's speaker. Firstly, very good evening to everyone and warm welcome for the second day of this FDP. I would like to introduce today's speaker, Dr. D. Rakesh Chandra. Sir has done his BTech from VNR VJIT in the year 2008 and completed MTech in 2010 from NIT Warangal and awarded PhD in 2016 from NIT Warangal. Sir authored a textbook, Wind Integration Issues in Power Systems, and Sir also won prestigious Power System Award in the year 2017 for the best PhD thesis. He is also editorial member of Frontiers Journal of Energy, and Sir research interesting areas are wind power grid integration and wind power forecasting, energy storage, smart grids. Sir is having 10 international research publications. Currently, Sir is working as assistant professor and R&D coordinator of EEE Department, KITS Warangal. Now I am welcoming Dr. Rakesh Chandra sir to continue this session.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. I'll directly first I'll share my. Okay, sir. Directly I'll entering into the session. So here,
Okay, sir.
wherever the things really require, there I will spend more time. So remaining research point of view, some of the results showing, then I will go fast. Okay. So exactly, I'm planning 1 hour 10 minutes, around 1 hour to 1 hour 10 minutes. Later I will give 10 to 15 minutes time for the discussion. Okay. So today my topic is wind power forecasting using AI techniques. Okay. So before, just in the introductory part, I don't want to take much time. So the topic is wind power forecasting using AI techniques. So what is the necessity for wind power forecasting? Okay, what is necessity for wind power forecasting? I'll stress. So before that, wind power, how the generation of wind power, that is very simple. The generation of wind power. So because of differential heating. So simple words I'll explain. So because of differential heating, what happened? The geography of Earth is not unique, and the solar heat is not same at all the places. So there will be more heat at one place, and there will be less heat at another place. This is called the differential heating. Because of this differential heating, what happened? There is a problem of high pressure and low pressure zones. Okay? High pressure and low pressure zones will be formed. After high pressure and low pressure zones is formed, then what happened? Automatically, wind flow is from high pressure zone to low pressure zone. This is similar to that. Water flow is from high head to the low head, and electric current flow from high potential to the low potential. Similar to that, wind flow from high pressure zone to the low pressure zone. So the origin, the main reason for the wind generation is the differential of solar heating. So and the local surfaces, terrain, so mountains and all these factors also affecting your wind flow. So that is not much important for our topic. So next, coming to wind power. So what is actually wind power? Wind power is nothing but half rho a v cube. What do you mean by half rho a v cube? See here, rho is the density of air. So if you locate your wind turbine at a particular place, what is the density of wind of that particular place? And pi r square is the area of cross section of your wind turbine, and ultimately v cube, wind speed. So these are the factors. So your wind power depends upon these are the factors: density of air of that particular location, and area of cross section of particular wind turbine, and wind speed of that particular location. So generally this is most probabilistic wind density. And another thing is mechanical wind power is equal to Cp into total wind power. The Cp is the power quotient. The power quotient is ranging from 0.3 to 0.5. So here also I don't want to stress much time, but a simple thing I want to tell you. So how your wind power is generated means, so wind flow, because of this wind flow, what happened? Okay, kinetic energy. Because of wind flow, it is attained to kinetic energy. That kinetic energy, it is later transferred to the mechanical energy, and that mechanical energy transferred to the electrical energy. Okay, that kinetic energy, with that kinetic energy, it will hit the wind turbine, and that is converted to mechanical energy to rotate the turbine, and the turbine is coupled to your electrical generator. Okay, that electrical generator rotation, with that rotation, you will get the electrical power. So it is one more concept is called the power quotient, which is the highest value is 0.578 if you derive from the expression. If you derive this expression wind power, you will have the another expression called the Cp expression, 1 minus v1 by v2 square into 1 plus v1 by v2. So mathematically, if you differentiate that value, the maximum value that you can attain as 0.578. Okay, practically it is in the range of 0.3 to 0.5. Attaining of 0.578, the practical ideal thing only. So practically you will get 0.3 to 0.5. This is also another factor which can influence the efficiency of wind turbines. So another thing, so why I want to spend another 1 or 2 minutes here. Why? Because if you want to understand how the wind power curve, so where you will get the maximum wind power, we have to know about this one. So in the wind power curve, so this is called the cut-in speed, and this is the rated speed point, and this is the cutout speed point. These are the three regions I can distribute as. These are the three regions. What do you mean by the cut-in speed? See, whatever may be the wind speed available, with that we may not generate electrical power. Okay, you may produce a wind power. That wind power may not lead to your electrical power. The minimum speed is required. That minimum speed is nothing but cut-in speed. Okay, what do you mean by cut-in speed? Means the cut-in speed is the minimum speed below which the total electrical power output is equal to 0. So next is the rated output power. Rated output power is you will get the maximum power output, maximum electrical power output. For example, your wind turbine is coupled to your electrical generator. Okay, your wind turbine is coupled to your electrical generator. So 2 megawatts, for example. So you achieved that. You achieved that at 12 meters per second. You achieved it at 12 meters per second. So afterwards, so your wind speed remains, though your wind speed increases, your total electrical power output remains constant. Why? Because your rated power output of electrical generator is fixed as 2 megawatt. So whatever may be the input wind speed, the gearbox mechanism is adjusted, and the controlling regulator, stall controller, pitch control mechanism, with that you have to adjust. And finally, because you can't move than the rated output power, you will achieve that at around 12 meters per second. Till 12 to 18 or 20 or 22, whatever. Generally, your cutout speed is around more than 20 kilometers per hour, but here it is mentioning in meters per second, so that is the difference. So why after some 18 meters per second there is no power generated? Why? Because, for example, now today in Bombay there is a cyclone Nisarga. So because of that, wind speeds are more than 100 kilometers per hour. The wind speed is more than 100 kilometers per hour. What the people are warning? What is the warning to Bombay? So there may be huge damage to old buildings even. Okay, huge damage to mechanical damage to old buildings. So if that is the case, more than 22 or 25 kilometers per hour, definitely there will be mechanical damage to your wind turbine. So you have to adjust your wind turbines in such a way that it should not hit your wind flow. You have to adjust in the opposite way. Generally, we have to adjust our wind turbine in such a way that it has to hit maximum wind flow and it has to generate maximum wind power within this region. But if it is too extreme wind flows, then what happened? We have to forcefully shut down your wind turbine. Otherwise, there is mechanical damage to your wind turbine. This is nothing but zero power output means we are closing that wind turbine. We are shut down mechanically, forcefully. We are shut down that system. So, what is the minimum cut-in speed? One more point I want to add here. The minimum cut-in speed means you want to pull. Okay, you want to pull a table. For that, you require some 30 newtons. Okay, if you apply some 25 newtons or 29 newtons, even 30 newtons, it won't move. But at just a 0.1 newton, more than 30 newtons, then what happened? Automatically it will move. That is nothing but we can say that. So it overcome the friction. Okay, that is nothing but it overcome the friction. So in rotational bodies, it overcome the inertia. The same thing. So the minimum cut-in speed required to overcome the inertia of the wind turbine. Otherwise, the minimum wind speed okay. So after that what happened? So that is the minimum wind speed required to overcome the wind turbine inertia, or else it is coupled to your electrical generator that may rotate with 1000 rpm or 1200 rpm or 1500 rpm or what. I'm unable to. I'm unable to change the slide 6. So it seems I'm unable to change my slides.
Use arrow marks, sir.
This one, sir.
Down arrow.
No, sir. Previously, with the down arrow, it is accessible, but somehow I got a request. I approved it.
Oh.
After that,
Could you
it's
share
been
once
stopped.
again, sir? Stop and share again.
Stop and share, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, sir. So this is about the minimum speed required and the rated speed. After rated speed, it has to remain constant because rated output power of the wind turbine, your electrical generator is fixed. Next, you will go to the cutout speed. This is about the simple topic. The same specification sheets also there. If you want to understand the same explanation. One is for the practical wind turbine of the Senvian, of the Germany company. So he fixed 3.5 meters per second. And the rated power output is 11. And cutout speed is 22 meters per second, and maximum rating is 3000 kilowatts. So 3 megawatt wind turbine. So almost whatever your wind powers are, they will follow in this way only. So we'll go to the key point of our issue is nothing but forecasting issue. What do you mean by forecasting issue? What is the significance of a forecasting issue? See, wind power forecasting reflects on energy balance and thereby the cost of integration. Okay, and a good wind power forecasting method can bridge the gap between scheduled and actual system generation. So, importantly, accurate forecasting with increased wind penetration helps in reliable operation of the power system. In simple sentence, I can tell you. So, like our stock exchange, we are having power exchange. Actually, in Western market, this is playing a vital role. And very soon in India also slowly deregulated market coming to the picture. If it is a deregulated market, so I'm having an IPP, independent power producer. I'm having independent power producer. So I'm having some 10 wind turbines. Okay, each of having 3 megawatts, for example. Let's say 30 megawatts. So what I have to do a day priorly, I can intimate to the ISO independent system operator that I can able to produce 30 megawatts. Next day, evening 4 o'clock, I can able to produce 30 megawatts. So otherwise what happened? If I'm unable to produce that 30 megawatts, I must be penalized. Okay. If they do not accept that 30 megawatts, they have to pay incentives to me. So like that, I have to make an agreement. And one example I want to tell you in this context. So recently, Government of India is bringing a new Electricity Act. In the new Electricity Act, they have to incorporate. They want to take. They want to reform all these things, and they want to introduce a new Electricity Regulation Act. In the new Electricity Regulation Act, they have to incorporate renewables. So, like the deregulated market, if they do not to maintain such things, they should be penalized and all these things. Anyhow, the coming days, it is a deregulated market, or the Western countries are all ready to take the Pennsylvania, Jerusalem market, PGM market, and everything, the deregulated market. You must tell how much power you can able to produce in a day ahead market. It is a day ahead market. So 24 hours before you have to estimate. So if you do not have proper forecasting, then what happens? So you must be penalized every time. So if you are unable to forecast, so maximum capacity of my wind turbines, for example, 30 megawatts. I'm having a normal company of 10 wind turbines, each of having maximum capacity of 3 megawatts. So 30 megawatts is a maximum rating. Out of 30 megawatts, next day evening 4 o'clock, what is the wind flow? So how much energy I can able to generate? How much power I can able to generate? That is a big question. So that is the reason I must have a proper forecasting tool or forecasting technique in order to address how much energy or how much power I can generate. This is what about the forecasting issue. The correct forecasting issue means it bridges the gap between the schedule and actual system generation. So what happened? So if the forecasting is wrong, so whatever by the next day evening 4 o'clock, whatever maybe the energy is available with me, I can share. That is the case. What happened? So there is a fixed always with the people, the ISO or whatever. In general, our Indian scenario is a transco, maybe ISO. It acts like an ISO. So they should have the proper estimation. Without that estimation, what happened? They have to schedule each and every generation. So if you go to Vidyut Saudha in Khairatabad, if you go to the 4th floor, I think there will be SCADA based each and every time what is the generation, what is the load, what is the frequency it maintains, that everything they have to think about. So one more example in this regard I want to give you. So maybe in the May first week or April last week, I don't remember exactly. So Prime Minister he has mentioned that 9 o'clock, 9 minutes, you have to switch on all lights. Okay. In the view of corona, then what happened? Most of the people say that if you suddenly close all that lights, then what happened? There may be huge fall in the load. Then what happened? Majority of the people asked what happened. See, always there should be balance between the generation. Okay, always there should be balance between the generation and the load dispatch in the demand and generation. If they mismatch, then what happened? There may be the frequency problem, and as electrical engineer, you know there may be the mismatch with the frequency. If the frequency is less than particular limit, it may even leads to cascade tripping. So that is the reason why your forecasting it plays a vital role. Okay, especially in the deregulated market. So an accurate forecast can help for better functioning of hour ahead or day ahead markets. It may be hour ahead. Generally, the markets are day ahead, a 1 day before. So whatever will be the amount of generation that we will tell a 1 day before. Based upon that, they will estimate. So it is like the market bidding. So consumers can be participated. Generating companies can they submit their bidding. So like that, this is the deregulated market. Okay, this is exact topic, today's topic. So what is the role of your artificial intelligence in the forecast? So the first one is we have seen today what is the wind power. So how it is generated, what is the primary reason for wind power. Okay, wind speed we have seen. So from the wind speed to wind power, what is the formula we have seen, and wind power curve we have seen. So after that, what is the need for forecasting? First you have seen what is the wind power, how the wind power is produced. Okay, and afterwards, okay, and afterwards, what is the why we have to forecast that wind power? What is the need to estimate that wind power? The second thing, and finally, we are entering into the core of our topic. What is the essence of your artificial intelligence in forecasting of your wind power? Okay. So, what do you mean by artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is nothing but knowledge-based system is computer program that acquires represents the use of knowledge for a specific purpose. So, main AI techniques found in literature may be knowledge-based systems, artificial neural networks, ANN, fuzzy systems, evolutionary computing like your genetic algorithms, evolutionary-based algorithms, or PSO, particle sum optimization, the combination of that hybrid techniques. Okay, so here just within 1 or 2 minutes, I'll explain in a very generous or normal manner. So, what do you mean by artificial intelligence? So, before coming to artificial intelligence, the training regarding the training, I will explain. Okay, first let me come even to artificial. What do you mean by artificial intelligence? Okay, see in your childhood, okay, if you are walking on a road, maybe your age may be 3 years or maybe 4 years, maybe less than 3 to 4 years in between. So the road, our parents used to advise that, okay, you have to walk in a one particular direction, one particular side. You have to walk on the footpath. And all these reasons. Why? Because at that time, your brain is not matured in such a way that you must be trained from your parents. The parents will tell you that, okay, if you walk on the footpath, there will not be vehicles on the footpath. There will not be accidents. Otherwise, there will be accidents. So all these things they will explain. After keep on training, after keep on telling and telling, after maybe after 5 or 6 years, if you walk on the road, then what happen automatically? You will fall in one particular direction. You will walk on the footpath. Otherwise, the vehicle will come and hit. Okay. If you do not have brain, for example, the brain functionality is not with, then what happens? You do not know. So vehicle is coming, you will go in the same direction, knowingly or unknowingly, it may hit. So with that intelligence, you may able to know that it is happen. That is for human automatically it happens. You have the brain, the properties of the brain. With that, the brain has a property of thinking mechanism, the inherent probability, okay, inherent thing that you will get. But for the machines, if you take the robo, okay, if you take any robo or any machine, it doesn't have any intelligence, okay, but it has to work. How you will make it to work? The simple thing, you will give the instructions. You will give the set of instructions in a particular way so that it will become a knowledge-based system. The knowledge will be given by you. Okay, the knowledge must be given by you. Then it will become intelligent. It's an intelligent machine. So that intelligence is artificial. Naturally, it will not think. That is artificial given by you based upon your instructions. It will work. So it is nothing but artificial intelligence. So what are the types of artificial intelligence? It may be knowledge-based system or artificial neural network. What do you mean by artificial neural network? So I want to stress this point because next our examples are based upon artificial neural network. So what is artificial neural network? So the name itself suggesting us that artificial neural network. So you have the natural neural network. Natural neural network is your brain, your human body. So for example, if you want to move in a particular direction, you want to take a decision. So you will get the feedback. Your neurons everywhere in your body is connected to your brain, and brain will send the signals to every part of the body. For example, one particular ball is coming in this direction. You just move. You just put your hand or whatever. There is a hot thing is there. If you put your hand, automatically it will get back because because of that, it's a burning action. Everything because of the natural action. Related to your natural neural network, you have the artificial neural network. Artificial neural network means you are going to build a neural network artificially. With that, you can give all the signals. You can train the system in such a way that based upon your application, it has to work. That is nothing but artificial neural network. So your neuron schema you need to develop, whatever your robotics or whatever. So robotics means recently you might have seen in news also, to deal with the corona patients. So people are developing the robots. What is the functionality? Only they will go to that particular people. Why? Because if the human will go, they may expose it to that coronavirus. Will go. So set of instructions very limited. Go and ask whatever the set of instructions, it will perform in that way. So like that, whatever may be the number of instructions that you can give to that uh, particular robo, it will act in that direction based upon your instructions. Okay, whatever the instructions you will give, it will work on that particular. So next one is fuzzy system. So fuzzy system is nothing but uh, what I can say, you have to develop the linguistic variables. Okay, so based upon the linguistic variables, a set of rules you have to form, and you have to go for the deep-education methods like centroid method, and all this, and you will get the one crisp value. Fuzzy means there should not be any clarity. Okay, so crisp means there will be clarity. So if I can say, how was the food in a particular restaurant? Okay, may say that probably it is good. So many factors that you have to, food is good, but what I can say, the hospitality is not good, particular location is not good. Like that, you have the set of 3 and 4 rules. Finally, you can say whether you are satisfied or not with the food, or with the hospitality, or with the location of that particular place, or like that 4 or 5 factors. Finally, what is the range? It will be some 0.7 or 0.8. On that, you can tell if it's next. Genetic algorithm is nothing but evolutionary concept. So principle of genetics on Darwin. So here we are going to concentrate on artificial neural network. Artificial neural network.
There is noise in the audio system.
Sir,
All participants, please switch off your mics. Switch off your mics. All participants, switch off your mics. Audio disturbance is coming. Participants, switch off your mics. Audio system is switch off. Audio system and video system.
sir, is it okay? Shall I continue, sir?
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. So mainly we are concentrating about what is artificial neural network. So here only just I have given introduction about different, what is a knowledge-based system, what is artificial neural network, what is fuzzy systems, what is genetic algorithm, or what is particle. Especially genetic algorithm and particle swarm optimization, they're just based upon the natural. Genetic algorithm is based upon the natural genetics. Okay. So principle of nature of evaluation, the main fundamental principle is survival of the fittest. Okay. So next. So before going to what is artificial neural network, the wind forecasting regarding the artificial neural network, let's have the characteristics in a 1 or 2 slides. Next, we will go to our topic. So ANNs are nothing but I already explained. They are biologically inspired, like our natural neural network, biological neural network. They have the artificial neural network. They are composed of elements like our dendrites, similar to that. We are having neurons here. And the definition is a neural network, a massively parallel distributed processor that has a natural property for storing experimental knowledge and making it available for use. If you understand this definition, automatically you can understand what is artificial neural network. You can easily understand the applications of artificial neural network and how the forecasting study has been done with artificial neural network only with this definition. So just I want to explain what is the definition of artificial neural network. An artificial neural network is a massively parallel distributed processor that has a natural property for storing experimental knowledge. That means a massively parallel distributed processor, similar to your brain. So, like some crores of dendrites or cells there. Okay, one is connected to, so lax is connected to one hand, another hand, maybe leg, or maybe to the brain, or maybe to the eyes, or to the ears. Everywhere you should be command and control. The control is at your brain. So, like that parallel processing. What do you mean by parallel processing? The hand has to do it, has to work, and the tongue has to do his work, and another hand, and the ears has to perform, the eyes has to function, like that your legs, each and every organ has to work parallelly, not in series. That means if one hand is working on another hand, another leg, it should not work. It should not be like it is the parallel action. Okay, that's what the meaning of massively parallel distributed. It's a processor. Okay, it's a processor. It's a working of process. It has a natural property for storing experimental knowledge and making it available for use. This is the key point. What do you mean by it? Natural property for storing experimental knowledge. What do you mean by experimental knowledge? So this is nothing but training. Experimental knowledge is nothing but training. So, for example, a simple example I want to give you in childhood, maybe in your first standard or second standard, especially, maybe in Telugu or English, there may be rhymes or poems. Okay, then what the teachers are advised? So you just mug up. So keep on trying 10 times, or 20 times, or 30 times, or 40 times. You keep on. Generally, in the early morning times, where the brain is completely free, the mind keep on. We are keep on going through that particular poem, maybe 20 times, or 30 times, or 40 times. For few people, it may be less than that, based upon our IQ levels. So finally, what happened after one particular trials? So automatically you can reproduce it. So nothing but storing that experimental knowledge with that experiment. You're being, you are performing that experiment. So keep on studying, going through that. So maybe that 4 or 5 lines. So finally you can able to reproduce it. So that's what storing the experiment knowledge and making it available for you. Next day, so today we completely go through that poem, and next day when teacher asks in the class, you can able to reproduce that. That is what your artificial neural network. It is a massively parallel connected distributed processor, and it has a natural property of storing experimental knowledge. Why I'm saying the experimental knowledge means that we will come to our experiment, our forecasting issue immediately. Okay. So this is about artificial neural network. Artificial neural network can understand the things by practicing. You keep on training. If you give more number of training, for example, you know about the swimming. You know the beauty of swimming, whether you experienced or not. Okay, if you learn your swimming, maybe your childhood, maybe fifth standard or sixth standard or whatever. After a 10 or 15 or 20 years, you're trained perfectly. Within these 15 or 20 years, you never performed. You never faced the water. You went to swimming, but immediately, suddenly, if you fail after 20 or 30 years also, automatically you can able to swim. Not exactly or perfectly, but you can do that action. How it is performed? Because that is stored, because you were trained rigorously, your neural networks trained rigorously. Even driving also, after certain years also, perfection may not be there, but you can able to perform. How it was happened? Because of your neural schema that is available in your neuron schema, so that is able, you can able to perform. So this is about artificial neural networks. So next one is the mathematical model. So your mathematical model of artificial neural network. So slowly we are coming into the engineering field from the biological field. So we can say initially we are calling it as a biological neural network. When I am calling artificial neural model means nothing but mathematical model. Why mathematical model? Because they are engineers. We are using it for the engineering applications. Engineering applications means for any mission or whatever, it should be mathematically modeled. Whatever the issue is there, mathematically modeled. So that is the reason why we have to develop artificial neural model, means mathematical model of a artificial neural network. What do you mean by mathematical model? In simple words, I want to explain. You will give the signals. So for example, we can call them as the weights. Weights given to it, sum of them, nothing but sigma. Okay, sigma means sum of all the signals, and it is a function of that one. Okay, so it is nothing but an activation function. I can call it as activation function. For example, this activation function, there are 3 inputs to this one. There are nothing but 3 weights. we have to sum this one. The activation function output means summarize all these weights. Activation function will give you the output. This is about the mathematical model. Simple first order characteristics of a biological neuron. First order means a simple, a linear function. What is the second order or third order? If you will go completely non-linear, a simple network. So simple summation plus x1 plus x2 plus x3. Simply you can do. Like the x1 is your weight 1, x2 is nothing but your weight 2, and x3 is nothing but your weight 3. Simply you can sum, and the net of this one is the input function. If you substitute in your activation function, that will give you your output. So what do you mean by activation function, and what are the different type of the activation function, and how you can select the activation function for your particular domain of the problem? So depends upon the application of the neural network, you can choose the activation function. So sigmoid and hyperbolic tangent, they can be used for prediction or forecasting process. So today our application is the forecasting application. So I am choosing my function as a sigmoidal function, like 1 by 1 plus e to the power of minus 6. Okay. So like that, several functions. So I don't want to discuss because of time limitation. This is a sigmoidal function. So, and there are but again, I am telling you, in between in the programming or our forecasting techniques where it is really required, again, I will stress also, you don't worry. But time being, let me proceed. So next, different learning schemes for the neural network. What do you mean by different learning schemes for the neural network? Okay, we can see broadly supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforced learning. Okay. Supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforced learning. In the supervised learning, it is called output is present. Unsupervised learning, output or target is not present. Reinforced learning is another particular thing. So nothing is there, output is not present, but by paying some incentives or something, we can do it in that another way. What do you mean by output is present, target is present, or target is not present? And in simple words, I can say the supervised learning is also known as teacher is present and teacher is not present. Unsupervised learning is teacher is not present. So for the classroom example, generally I can say the class, the supervised learning means teacher is present. That means teacher has given a problem, solve a particular problem, teacher is present. That is called the supervised learning. You solve that problem and you can cross check with the your teacher and professor whether the answer is correct or not, because the output is present. Okay. So unsupervised learning means teacher has given a problem to solve this problem, but teacher is not present. You have to solve at your home as an assignment. It is an unsupervised learning. Okay. So what do you mean by teacher is present means? So you have the answer with the teacher and you can cross check with the teacher. So similar to that, target is present. What do you mean by target is present? You are solving for the forecasting issue. So you are working for the problem. But if you do not know the target, where you have to reach, where you have to cross check, whether it is correct or not. If it is wrong, how much is the error? How much it is deviated from the actual answer? So that's what the supervised learning and unsupervised learning. In the unsupervised learning, you do not know what is the exact answer. You do not know whatever you are predicted or you are estimated, your calculated answer is correct or not. But in the case of supervised learning, every one thing is there, particular answer is there. You got 10, but answer is some 10.1. The error is 0.1. So like that. So what is the percentage of error is? Maybe 1% like that. So these things are present. Your reinforced learning is particularly different. So you will force them to learn by paying some incentive. If you solve that answer, I'll give you a chocolate to you, like the students you can take. I can give you some extra marks like that. So if you do not solve that answer, you will be the negative marks I can award. Like that, forcefully ask them to learn. So this is a reinforced learning. So if we go to the wind forecasting methods, today I'm going to discuss about the neural network. We have the back propagation based neural network, state estimation based. Sir, if there is any problem regarding the timing, you please remind me. So mostly I can finish by 5:10. If it is really exceeds, some of you can please post in the chat window so that I can reduce my
No
time.
problem, sir. You can no problem,
Okay,
sir. You can continue.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You can continue
So
up to
back-
5:30.
Oh, okay, okay. No, within 5:30 definitely I'll finish, but I want to give at least 10 to 15 minutes time for the discussion regarding the time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
back propagation neural network, state estimation. And if anybody feels really it is bore, if it is really fundamentals also, you can post me so that wherever it is really fundamentals I am discussing for a longer time, I can skip and I can go to the regular topic. Okay. Back propagation neural network, state estimation based neural network, and adaptive wavelet based neural network. So what do you first in that we are going to deal with back propagation neural network. Here our application is simple wind power forecasting. In the wind power forecasting is we are selecting the artificial intelligence technique. In the artificial intelligence technique, we are selecting the artificial neural network. In the artificial neural network, the learning scheme, supervised, unsupervised, reinforced. In the learning techniques, we are selecting as supervised learning. Okay. The supervised learning means output is present in the supervised learning. You just see here in the supervised learning, I am selecting as back propagation. Okay, back propagation. So back propagation neural network. So what do you mean by back propagation neural network? Back propagation algorithm can be used to train artificial neural network. Initially, training can be okay. Simple words I can tell you. I don't want to tell all these things by each and everything. If I study what you will get, simple thing we will go. So artificial neural network means nothing but we're training the system. So same example what I have given just now. So maybe we are at the third standard. Okay, maybe Telugu or English, there are rains or poems. How we are able to remember? Keep on training and training and training. At last you will get. So initially, after 5 or 6 times, what happened? You can reproduce, but there may be error. Okay, it's not 100% accurate. Some of the words you are missing. So after 10 times, almost 95% accurate. After 15 or 20 times, 100% accurate. Whatever there it is there, with that fluency, you can able to reproduce perfectly. That is called, the problem is converged 100%, 100 out of 100. How it is possible? By the rigorous training. The same thing, the back propagation network is used to train your artificial neural network. Okay, in order to train your artificial neural network, this is one particular procedure is called the back propagation algorithm. What do you mean by back propagation algorithm? Initially training, so arbitrary weights are there. So let me go here. See, this is your neural network. Already I explained the mathematical model of neural networks. Okay, for like that you are selecting so different inputs, 30 inputs. Okay, so I already explained you can take multiple inputs. It is a parallel processing. Okay, multiple inputs, it is a parallel processing. Like the 30 inputs I am taking. So these are the hidden layers and this is the output layer. Okay, so this Vij is nothing but weights between input to hidden, and this Wij is nothing but weights between hidden to output. What do you mean by weight? What do you mean by weight? Okay, so simple example I'll give you in order to understand the significance of a weight. Okay, so all weights may not be same. So weightage is different from person to person. For example, if you go to temple one particular day, okay, it is one a festival day, you go to the temple. Then what the people will do? So for example, there is no so special darshana, for example, so 100 rupees, 200 rupees, if you pay, you will get that special one. That is not there. For example, you have to go in a queue. What happened suddenly? So one police official, he came, for example, let's say circle inspector or whatever. Immediately, people will ask them, he will be bypassed and he will go. Okay. Immediately, minister is come. Even they will bypass that person and he will go. Even the people will say that everybody is common to the God. But fortunately, unfortunately, it may not be the same. All are not equally weighted people. So in long days, if the king is came in, the people are bypassed and the king can go and he can do the special puja or whatever, special darshan. The same thing if you travel on the road, for example, the traffic signals. Okay, the traffic signals, any minister or anybody, everyone is stopped and the minister can be. What is the reason actually? The weight associated in the society is not same. You are a common man, your weight is fixed, or next to your level, maybe some police official or whatever is the official, his weightage is different. With the minister, his weightage is different. Chief minister next level, prime minister ultimate level. Like that, the weights are different. So like that, these are the weights associated from input to hidden means based upon the weights, you have to give the significance. The weights is associated weights is the significance or the importance given. Okay, so 30 weights. Out of 30 weights, they are contributing to one means only in that only one weight contributing to 0.9. Remaining all 29 may contributing 0.1 also possibility is there. That is called the weights associated. So here you just go. Backpropagation algorithm can be used to train artificial neural network and the arbitrary weights. Initially, if you select a neural network, there will not be any weights. It doesn't have any what I can say biasing or anything. It doesn't have any sense. So no initial weights. So random weights are there. You have to initialize and the random weights are fixed. And the how the weights are associated means in this way. You are having the input signals and the weights here, and there will be some output. And here is the target is the target T at this point. Okay. So you will give the inputs and they are multiplied with the weights, and again there will be hidden layer and they will be multiplied with that, and the same simple mathematical procedure again these weights and they will calculate it here, and final output you will get. You will compare with the target. So like that the target is 10, you achieved 9. What is the error? 1. But percentage of error is 10%. So based upon this error, I have to adjust my weights. This is what the back propagated. So weights are back propagated with the error. This particular algorithm is known as back propagated neural network or back propagation neural network. These weights are back propagated in order to have the exact weights. How can we tell the weights are exact or accurate? Only the thing is when they reach the exact target, then that particular weights are perfect weights or exact weights. Till now you have to repeat this process. Till now you have till that process you have to train your neural network. That is the situation. Like that, your number of inputs you can't change the number of inputs. The number of inputs is always that number of inputs only. So target is fixed. In between you have to adjust your weights. And what is this hidden layer? I already mentioned. The hidden layer you are having the activation function. What is the purpose of activation function also? I mentioned activation function, we have the sigmoidal function or whatever. See, if the problem is too complex, okay, if the problem is too complex, then more number of hidden layers in order to address the complexity of the problem. Simple thing. If it is highly complex problem means highly non-linear problem, okay, the mathematical words. If it is a highly non-linear problem means the order is more than 2, more than 3, then more number of hidden layers. Only single layer means simple neural network, 1-to-1 input and output, simple single order. Okay, it will not address the complex issues. If the issue is very complicated or highly complicated, you have to adjust your neural network in such a way that more number of neural networks, higher order. Why it is a higher order? Because your problem itself is more complex. Simple tools cannot address, simple mathematical models cannot address the issue, cannot address or cannot solve your problem. So that is the reason why your neural network architecture is purely depends upon the problem that you have selected. Okay, it is purely depends upon the problem that you have selected. If it is highly non-linear or highly complex problem means your neural network design should be in such a way that, okay, afterwards again you have to test, and your what is the activation function, simple activation function is, and again I mentioned if it is a forecasting application, one particular activation function. If it is another problem, one particular activation function. So if I keep on discussing about activation function, it will take more time. But the simple thing, it is a non-linear function. Your sigmoidal function is like 1/1 plus e to the power of minus x. It is a highly non-linear function. It can address some of the issues like that linear problem. So another function. So like that, you can fix some of the input layers and you can fix some of the hidden layers. And one more thing, actually, there is no particular rule that how many input layers you are taking, how many hidden layers you are taking, and output layer maybe 1 or 2. But there is one nominal rule. What I can say is that particular rule is actually it is not verified or tested. Empirical relation. Empirical relation means based upon trials. Just only there is no mathematical proof. Based upon empirical more number of trials, that is only an estimation. Generally, input layer to hidden layer, there is 1.5 times your hidden layers from the input layer. So that is the reason why in my problem, so before that I have done so many investigations. So many days, even weeks, almost like 1 month I have took in order to finalize this neural network. So 30 inputs and 45 hidden and one output layer. I'm not stressing that if you go in this direction, you will get this result. You can, based upon your problem, you can, based upon the same problem also, you can design another neural network with the best performance. Okay, that is based upon your design, and afterwards you have to keep on trying the best trials that you can get it. So like that, I can take 30, 45 number of training patterns, even it is not fixed 80. So with that, I can saturate and I can get some better results As per my knowledge, I can fix it. And what is the momentum factor? Momentum factor is, if you go to the load flow studies in everywhere, some all find it. Momentum factor is that you have to make the fast. Okay, you have to make it fast. So that is the reason why we are fixing as a momentum factor in order to fast up the thing. The convergence process should be fast enough. So that is the reason why I'm fixing some momentum factors. Learning rate. What do you mean by learning rate? Is a data. Another factor. So you are training, you are giving the training to the system, but how far it is receiving and how far it is executing. So that is nothing but learning rate, another parameter that you are fixing. So learning rate, it is the point. It anyhow, it is also so based upon number of trials. Initially, I fixed some momentum factor, some learning rate, but in the literature, it is available that so momentum factor some 0.2 to 0.5. So learning rate is from 0.5 to 0.1. It is reliable or feasible. So in my problem, I tested. So finally, I fixed my convergence criteria. It is. So what is the training process? So training process is the first 30 wind samples I have taken, fixed, and the 31st is the target. Again, next 32 to 61, I went and the 62 samples. So like that rigorously, I went to the next 80 patterns. So 30 into 80 is the 2,400 patterns. After the problem is converges, the converged weights are used to test the speed data. Here I am specifying you what do you mean by the convergence is. It is up to you. Okay, the target is 10. The target is 100. Okay, if I get 90, if it is fine for me, I can fix the 90 is also fine, with the error is fine, and the problem is converged. I'm not satisfied. Target is 100. I have to get 99 means I'll fix the error rate is only 1%. So that is only the tolerance. So like that, I have to fix some limit. So fix what is the target, until what point I can reach, what is the tolerable limit. Based upon that, I can say the convergence. Once the convergence is done, what we have to do? We are fixing the weights. I already mentioned in the beginning of my lecture that the weights are randomly fixed. Okay, but after a series of trials at one particular weights, I am reaching the target more or less. The convergence reached. That particular weights are saved because it is everything is programming based, MATLAB programming based. That particular weights are saved in the file, and that particular weights are used for testing. So next time, whenever you want to test with that, the weights are fixed. The initial stage, I can say that I don't have any weights, but after that, these weights are fixed. Okay. Always, if I want to test the system, these are the particular weights from the input to hidden. These are the particular weights from the hidden to output. That I have to fix like that. So these are the like that. This recursive procedure is used for the next 24 samples. So next 24-hour sample data I have to get. Why I'm telling it is a 24 samples data means this is my application is for day ahead market. The day ahead market means next 24-hour samples. So in the graphic, just I will explain. The first samples are 24812, 25110 in the testing. Already training has been done for the 80 into 30, 2400 samples. After that, next 80 is over, 2480. Next one is 24812, 25110. Next the output is 2511. This process is repeated for next 24. So 2481, okay, 2480 plus 24 is 2504. So 24812, 2504 is next 24 samples. Next 25112, 2534, 24 samples. This is the way to forecast the next 24 hours sample. So our sample is, I am considering 1 year wind data. 1 year wind data every hour is my sample. Like that, 365 into 24 is 8760. Like that, I am considering total 8760 wind samples. 1 year wind samples. In that one particular 2400 samples, because 30 inputs, 80 training patterns were used for the training. After that, the next samples is for the testing. 2400 plus after that every sample one gap is there, like that 80 training patterns, 80 gap is there. After that, I am going for the testing from 2008 to 2005-10. So after that, the testing is from 2005-11 to 2005-34. This is my testing. So after that, what we have to do, whether I am getting accurately forecasting or not, and how can I estimate? So like that, I am calculating the absolute percentage error at each and every case. So for 24-hour samples, so like that, some 8% error, 20% error, one case, like that I'm getting. So average error is like 13% also. So another statistical parameters also I'm calculating because I want to justify my answer means only one statistical parameter is not sufficient to evaluate my forecasting or forecasting efficiency. So that is the reason I am going for mean absolute error, mean absolute percentage error, root mean square error. Even I went to even correlation coefficient. What do you mean by correlation coefficient? Means actual value is there, forecasted value is there. So if the correlation coefficient is 1 means actual value, forecasted value 100% accurate. So but in my case the forecasting value is some 0.904 means 90% accurate like that. So this is about the actual value. This is a color indicating. So forecasted value in the red. So somewhere I mentioned some 20% error, more deviation. Sometimes the deviation is almost like that the 24 samples. So I feel even that error is average error. If I go around 10 plus, more than 10%, I do not feel more than 10% error is good. Then I went to the next forecasting, the state estimation based on neural network. What do you mean by the state estimation based on neural network? Is this is same? It is also using your back propagation neural network. Okay. So based upon the target, we have to fix it up. Same neural network training, but initially the weights are not fixed. The random weights are there, and we are finally fixing the weights based upon your back propagation algorithm. But here in the neural networks training, the back propagation algorithm I am not using. The state estimation based algorithm I am using. The state estimation based algorithm based upon the minimization of sum of squares of weighted deviation, the perfect weights I will fix at 1 instant. But in the first case, in the back propagation based neural network, the weights are not fixed at 1 instant. They keep on training, more number of training, till the problem convergence. Once the problem converges, we fix the weights. But here, it is non-iterative approach. Okay, it is a non-iterative approach. We'll go to the mathematical procedure. We will estimate the weights with the sum of squares of the weighted deviation. Simple thing. What do you mean by the sum of squares of the weighted deviation? Sum of squares of the weighted deviation means the deviation is high from the actual value to the targeted value. We have to reduce it. For that, why we have to take the sum of squares of the weighted deviation? Because sometimes the error is higher, error is low. That means negative error or positive error. The average it may become 0. So that is the reason why always we go to the square of the error. So that is the best procedure. So we have to minimize the sum of the squares of the weighted deviation. In such context, I'll fix that weights from input to hidden and hidden to output. Okay, like back propagation neural network, it is non-iterative approach, but in the back propagation, it is iterative approach. Same network we are taking, but it is a simple neural network. Actual value and the forecasted value. So this difference, okay, this difference square, and the sigma is a weight associated to it. Based upon that, we have to minimize it. Okay, we have to minimize the error based upon such mathematical procedure. So this is state estimation based approach. So if I keep on explaining, it will take more than 1 hour, even the state estimation based approach. But in a simple sentence, I can tell in the state estimation based approach, the raw data I can give. The raw data means definitely there may be some errors. Always raw data means there may be error, right? It will not be purified data. So that raw data I'll take and I will simplify by using the weighted least square estimation. Weighted least square estimation means WLSE. Weighted least square estimation means the deviations are reduced, the errors or the deviations are reduced as minimum as possible. Based upon that, we will estimate, and finally we will estimate the weights. Okay, weights between input to W is the one weight, and A is the another weight. If you see the V is the another weight, and W is the another weight. This V and W are the estimated. Here from this matrix, the V can be estimated if you investigating the input to hidden. So like here, the V is estimated as a Gaussian elimination. And the next one is a similar way. If you proceed, the W is estimated. So from here, the inverse of it, you can estimate the W. The same neural network, the same testing procedure, but only thing is the weights are estimated in a mathematical way. So some accuracy has been improved. Simple thing. The random way you are proceeding, but you are going in the systematic way. In which way you will get the better results? Definitely in the systematic way. The initial, the back propagation neural network, the random way, randomly initialized and the estimated. The weights are okay. But in the state estimation way, and one particular mathematical procedure is based upon the sum of squares of the weighted deviations are minimized. So based upon that, we will proceed. the deviations or the errors are minimized. Based upon that, the weights are fixed. In that particular way, we forecasted for the same next 24 samples. So errors are like that even 2%, 5%, 7%, 14%. Like that, the average error is reduced to 8.173%. Okay, there the average error is some around 13.1. So error is reduced. You can see that some of the peaks are reduced, except at one or two places. Most of the times, your forecasting and actual values are almost like coinciding. So similar to that, so here I am estimating back propagation neural network at every instant and state estimation based neural network. In the majority of the cases, your state estimation based neural network is the best. Okay, like that if you make the average is 13.2 and the average is some 8.1. This is a comparison. So here, if I use the back propagation, state estimation and actual, where your state estimation is actually coinciding with actual values rather than your back propagation neural network. So this is all estimations. Even your mean absolute error is best in case of here, and your root mean square error is best in the correlation factor 0.90 here and 0.93. 90% in the previous case. Okay, 90% in the previous case, and charge. Sorry, maybe charging problem. So 90% in the previous case and 93% in the present case. It has been improved. And even execution time is also improved. What is the reason? Actually, previously it is a iterative approach. Number of times you have to perform and you have to get the result in order to fix the weights. But it is a non-iterative approach. In the first instance, you can fix your weights. So non-iterative approach, the execution time also considerably reduced. You don't see how many seconds it has been reduced. You can see the percentage of reduction. 38 seconds to 68 seconds to 34 seconds itself is almost like half of the reduction, but is more than that. Okay. So summary, in this case summary only, still we are going to discuss one more neural network. Okay, we are going to discuss even one more neural network. Even it is 5, I can continue for another 15 minutes. So the summary for these two, the problem with the back propagation neural network, it can have the problem of local minima problem. Okay, but it is not there with the state estimation based neural network. It is completely mathematical approach, and weights are estimated between layers, accurate enough because using the weighted least square approach, and it is a non-iterative approach. This is a summary till this point. Next, still staying in the neural network, I want to go for the better one. Then I'm using wavelets. The neural networks associated with the wavelets can give the best result. Can use the best result. The reason is the wavelets, they can fix based upon the problem, because the wavelets structure is, in the wavelets you have the translation and dilation parameters. They are nothing but sir. May I continue, sir? Or? Hello?
Disturbance. It is some other disturbance, sir. You can continue.
Okay, thank you. So wavelets in translation and dilation parameters. So like your A and B. So this is nothing but you are fixing like the length and breadth of the wavelet. So like the length and breadth of the wavelet based upon the translation and dilation parameters, they are arbitrarily varying, and based upon the problem they will fix. So what is that? What is the difference between the your artificial neural network, state estimation based neural network, the wavelet based based upon the wavelet based?
All participants, please switch off your audios. Participants, please switch off your audios.
Okay, based upon artificial neural network, state estimation based neural network to the wavelet based neural network is, here the activation function is your wavelets. There are some sigmoidal function or a tan hyperbolic based upon the problem, but here your Mexican hat wavelet or Morlet wavelet, those things, the same neural network I am using. Why everywhere I am using the same neural network? Means if I want to go for the comparison, same architecture I have to use and I can compare. The different schemes I have to use means the comparison is not justified. So that is the reason why same architecture I am using in each and every case, and how the results that I am using. So in the hidden layer, okay, the Z1 is more wavelet based or Mexican hat wavelet based neural network. Okay, so the main advantage with this neural network is wavelet based neural network is it has undergone to the multi-resolution analysis. That is the main advantage. Only here I will stress the remaining part. Just I will go like that. Why? Because the multi-resolution analysis is the key point in order to understand the wavelet. What do you mean by multi-resolution analysis? A simple example I will give you. So one student came to me and he told that, sir, I lost my notes. Okay, I lost my assignment notes in the college. College means where? You have 5 buildings in the college. Which building? Block number 4. The block number 4, where it is? The room number floor 2. The floor 2, the room number 5. Room number 5. So I sit in the bench 3. Bench 3 and row number 1. Like that, if you have the 5 categories. Okay. The first one is he went to the kids college. In the kids college, out of 5 buildings, one particular building number 4, the building number floor, the floor number 2, the floor number 2, room number 3, in the room number 3, row number 1, in the row number 1, again, column number 4. If I can tell in that particular way, he can directly go and get his notes back, for example, if he missed it. So multi-resolution analysis means there is a problem, there is a flaw, okay, there is a mistake. If you want to identify the mistake, if you can categorize perfectly, you can easily identify that mistake. So similar to that, you can go to the multi-resolution. So for example, n levels decomposition I am doing. So actual quotient and detailed quotient, actual quotient, detailed quotient, each and every. Okay. So one is low frequency signal and one is high frequency. What do you mean by low frequency signal or high frequency signal means? For example, in my wind case, for example, low frequency or low repeatable or high frequency or high repeatable, I can separate them. That second level, third level, like that, all the wind samples are decomposed perfectly and they are able to forecast. Means my data is accurate enough. Okay, just like that forecasting, the simple way of forecasting or traditional way of forecasting, rather than that, I can decompose level to level. Okay, if I can able to decompose level to level, higher frequency level to the lower frequency level. If you have the signal means, so you just see here, if you have the signal means, so each and every, if you decompose in a particular manner means the forecasting it is very simple. So what you will do in the wavelet based neural network, first you decompose the signal and each and every signal you can forecast and afterwards you can add them. Okay. Wavelet method based time series analysis available in the MATLAB. Based upon that you can able to do it, WMTSA. So like that each and every level decomposition, it may be 7 level decomposition, 8 level decomposition or 9 level decomposition. How it depends the number of decomposition levels, the number of decomposition levels depends upon how many number of samples that you have. If you consider only 1000 samples, 1000 by 2 to the power of 5, okay, 32 number of samples available. That should be greater than a particular ratio. That condition is there in the wavelet. So like with the 1000 samples, maybe 5 level decomposition is enough. That is not exact rule, but okay, mathematical analysis. Maybe if you go to 6 level decomposition, you can do the best one. So like that, number of decomposition levels depends upon the available data samples, available training data samples. So that is another thing. The same training algorithm, but before that, you have to go for the multi-resolution analysis is carried out on wind speed. And each decomposed signal is forecasting using AWNN individually. Later, the standard backpropagation gradient descent algorithm, same error estimation method. And we have to minimize the error. This is the way to proceed. And every time we have to differentiate the values, the mathematical functions, and we have to get the values, the same algorithm and same mathematical procedures that we have to. Once the weight converges, once the problem converges, the same thing, the same weights are fixed. Apart from the weights, the translation and dilation parameters. Again, I am mentioning the beginning of wavelets. I mentioned that the translation and dilation parameters are not fixed. Okay, the translation and the dilation parameters are not fixed. They will adjust according to the problem. Okay, and the advantage, another advantage with the wavelet is that it can perform the time varying frequency analysis. If you go to the Fourier analysis also, it can do, okay, can do either time varying, one of the things can perform frequency varying signals. But The time varying signals, time varying frequency analysis signals can also be analyzed by using wavelets. Your wind is nothing but time varying frequency analysis. The time is varying as the time moves, the frequency, because they are uncertain. The frequency also varies. So this time varying frequency signals can be analyzed more effectively and efficiently by using the wavelet analysis. In the wavelet analysis also, we have the Mexican hat wavelet and we have the Morlet wavelet, other one. Okay. So with the different studies in the 7-level decomposition, 8-level decomposition, 9-level decomposition, the one way, so where we are using the wavelets as the activation function. Once I have used the activation function as a Mexican hat wavelet, the name Mexican hat wavelet is, the symbol is like hat. Okay. So another name is the Morlet wavelet. So like the different activation functions I have used and I am using for the best results. The same, the analysis same, I am using the best results means, the best forecasting technique means, how can I analyze? I can analyze by using the same statistical parameters such as absolute percentage error, mean absolute percentage error, root mean square error, and correlation coefficient. And finally, so Mexican hat wavelet, 7-level decomposition, this is the error. 8 level, this is the error. 9 level, this is the error. If I go for the Morlet, this is the error. So finally, I am fixing that a particular Morlet wavelet is selected. And if I go to the particular level of decomposition, 8 level, I am getting the better results in correlation factor is 0.94, 94.3% accurate. Okay, the correlation for quotient is another statistical parameters. The forecasting analysis, it can give you 0.94 is the 94.3% accurate in the Morlet wavelet. So finally, I fixed that based upon so many artificial neural network analysis in that traditional. So I know that the backpropagation neural network, I may not get the better result, but it is the benchmark one and traditional method of forecasting. First, I have to done. If I want to go to the next level or the next one, first I have to go to the traditional one. First, I have to get familiar with the traditional neural network. First, I have to analyze that algorithm. I have to get the code. Okay, I have to analyze that code and I have to get the code. With that, I have to get the result that has a one of the result, one set of the result. So next one, I can improvise with the state estimation based on neural network, and I can change the activation function because your activation, because remaining activation functions, your sigmoidal function, everything is fixed. So mathematically, 1 by 1 plus e to the power of minus 6 is, they are fixed until and unless your X input is changed. But your neural wavelet based neural network, they are not fixed. Okay, they change according to the translation and dilation parameters. But the translation and dilation parameters again they will change according to the problem. So that is the a more advantage. That is a more advantage. That is a more advantage with respect to the wavelet based. Okay, wavelet based neural network. So that is. So this is about in comparison with the PPNN, SCNN, and Morlet 8 level. Because here I am concluding the wavelets, this is the best. Finally, I am comparing it. This is the best result, 6.9%, less than 7%. So initially 13% to 8% to 6.9%, I am reducing. This is about the summary. The summary means the Morlet wavelets are the best suitable for analyzing sudden variation. See why? Because the time varying, they can able to suit for the time varying frequency analysis. The time varying frequency analysis. Okay, your wind signal is highly chaotic in nature, highly changeable with respect to time. So that is the reason why Morlet wavelets are suitable. Here, so this is the conclusion.
రాత్రి వెంటనే పడుకుంటున్నారు, తినేసి పొద్దున్న లేవడానికి బద్ధకం, ఎక్సర్సైజ్ చేయలేదు, మొత్తం డైలీ రొటీన్ అంతా డిస్టర్బ్ అయ్యింది. ఇది కరెక్ట్ కాదు. మన శాస్త్రాల్లో ఏం చెప్పారు? ఆయుర్వేదంలోను నేచురోపతిలోను ఏకభుక్తే మహాయోగి, ద్విభుక్తే మహాభోగి, త్రిభుక్తే మహారోగి అన్నారు. ఒక పూట తినేవాడు వండిన పదార్థం, నేను ఇక్కడ మీల్ అనట్లేదు, బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ అనట్లేదు, మనం పెట్టుకున్న పేర్లేదు. వండిన పదార్థం
చూడండి,
చూసిన సార్ 2 పూటలు తినేవాడు భోగి.
Okay, so in the conclusion, so finally I want to tell you, I have done this forecasting studies with the different type of neural network, but finally I can able to get the better results with the Morlet 8 level. This is only the wind speed forecasting. Then how can you apply it for wind power forecasting? The wind power forecasting is nothing but Your wind power forecasting is nothing but after a VQ. You're selecting a particular location, your wind density is fixed, that particular location, for a particular wind turbine, that area of cross section is fixed. Only the variable thing is your wind speed. If you can able to estimate the wind speed with the simple again MATLAB programming, remaining parameters is fixed. Whatever the available wind power, with that you can forecast your wind power. If you have the better wind power forecasting method, that it is better for you because you can give the schedule a day before because it is a day ahead of it. So this is about my presentation and thank you all. And if you have any questions, please tell me. So some of you giving in the chat box, your issue is regarding, your doubt is regarding wavelet decomposition. In that, may I know what is your doubt in the wavelet decomposition? Till what levels we have to go, or how it has been done? Time series. I'm not getting.
Participant, unmute yourself and express your doubt.
Okay, so like that you can give this. So another 5 or 6 questions I can answer in 10 to 15 minutes. Please, any of you,
Hello,
please you can tell. Madam.
Sir, my question is, as you have discussed about the wavelet decomposition that you have used
Yes,
Morlet
ma'am.
up to 8 level, in multi-resolution analysis, we usually go we like doing frequency decomposition. So we
Yeah,
know
time
that,
varying frequency analysis. Time varying
yeah,
frequency analysis.
yeah,
Simultaneously, both the things can be analyzed. That is the advantage. Tell me.
yeah, but if we have a data which varies with the frequency or the time, we know
Hmm.
what particular frequency we need. For example, in multi-resolution frequency, if you have taken the x value as some 100 hertz,
Hmm.
and when you are decomposing it to approximate detail, so for each and every approximate detail coefficient, we are mentioning some amount of some range of frequency. So I want to know, when you are doing the time series decomposition, how we could analyze that approximation and detail coefficients over there.
Okay, madam. Actually, so you are asking your question related to maybe even digital imaging processor related issues and everything
Yeah,
also.
yeah, yeah,
Context also you are asking, it seems. But actually, I am very particular to my problem, madam. I am very particular to domain. In my domain, actually, how I have done this wavelet-based analysis, only every program, everything I have fixed like the back propagation algorithm. But only thing is, the hidden layer I have used this Mexican hat wavelet and Morlet wavelet-based wavelet function, wavelet-based neural network. So rest of the things I am not thinking of. Only based upon my error, based upon my target, automatically my translation and dilation parameters are adjusted. Regarding coming to the decomposition,
yeah.
even actually I am using MODWT, maximum overlap discrete wavelet transform.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
And the DWTSA, discrete wavelet time series analysis. These are the two tools we have to install in our MATLAB. So
Yeah.
based upon that, we code automatically based upon problem. The decomposition has been done.
Mm.
After every decomposed signal has been forecasted, and they will be summarized. Automatically it has been done. Only with our program we will do normally like the back propagation algorithm, but only I am using wavelet neural network as my activation. If I can able to install these two things, if I go to the rest of the program, the decomposition has been done automatically and the forecasting has been done automatically prior to my back propagation algorithm. But only the thing is decomposition. Regarding the decomposition, I'm already regarding the frequency, how much frequency that I do not know exactly. But the thing is, I went to the different levels of decomposition 7, 8, and 9. Why only 7, 8, 9? Still less than the levels I do not want to go. Why? Because my number of samples are fixed. Based upon that, minimum number is 7 that I know. After 7, I go to 8 and 9. Even I went on for 10. But by that, parameters are saturated. I have checked for the forecasting. Where I got the exact results only, I identified. Based upon that, I went. So exactly regarding the frequency, how it is analyzed, I don't know because purely I am going to the forecasting of the wind signal. The frequency analysis, I am not, that is inside it is doing, but that exact analysis, I don't know.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Next.
Hello, sir.
Madam, please tell me.
This is Divya from St. Peter's Engineering College. Good evening,
Madam,
sir.
please tell me.
I
Okay.
have two questions, sir. My first
Please.
question is that in a wind turbine, for a
Okay.
subsynchronous resonance, if there occurs a subsynchronous resonance, then how,
Okay.
which type of converter, which type of power electronic converter we can use
Okay.
at the grid side?
Okay. Next. What is your
The
next
second
question?
question is, for a variable speed wind turbine, we are
Okay.
using in general the doubly fed induction generator currently, sir. But is
Okay.
there any recent trends in the generator system?
Hmm. Okay.
That's it. That's
I am
all.
not, last I am not listened ma'am properly. Doubly fed induction generator, but you are asking any recent generator is there other than that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Coming to your first question, if it is a subsynchronous resonance, what type of a converter? First of all, I am from purely power system background, ma'am. Actually, I have
Okay.
even done the simulation studies in my PhD. The stability issues studies I have done. I worked with the synchronous squirrel cage induction generator, doubly fitted induction generator, permanently magnetic synchronous generator. But everywhere the modeling and everywhere already simulated model I have taken directly because I do not know about the converter. Because if you go to the DFIG, there will be GSC and RSC, rotor side control, grid side converter is there. That mechanism only I have gone through. But inside the converter, how it has been acting, I don't know because I am from power system background. And the next thing, what selection how to made exactly regarding that issue, I don't know exactly for subsynchronous. But majority of the people are using doubly fitted induction generator. But actually, we are having PMSG, permanent magnet synchronous generator, is also equally good as doubly fitted induction generator. But the problem is, you have the saturation problem of the magnet. You are using the natural magnet. That is one of the issue. And the cost
Yes.
is another issue. Because of these two reasons, in majority of the cases, we are using DFIG. But coming to SCIG, but SCIG is having so much inferior when compared to DFIG. So because dynamic compensation is not there, there is only fixed capacitor. So fixed compensation, which is not possible. Again, you have to go for the static wires or the fax devices for the compensation. So that is the reason why we are going to uh, two things: DFIG, doubly fed induction generator, and permanent magnet synchronous generator. But coming to the converters, what converters are suitable means actually I do not know because I am purely from power system background. Okay,
sir.
ma'am.
Okay.
Next.
Thank you, sir. I want to say one thing, sir. Finally,
Ah.
I want to express my heartful thanks to you. Why? Because you enlightened this webinar with a very fruitful result, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Even I must thank to Princeton College management and head of the department and all of
Also,
you.
I'm from
Maybe
the same
because of
college,
you.
working in the
Okay.
triple department only.
Okay, ma'am.
I
That's
want
why
to
I'm
say thanks
expressing
to your
my.
management also, sir, for giving us this wonderful opportunity to organize this type of events. Thank
Even
you,
I
sir.
am expressing my sincere gratitude to Princeton College management and head of the department and all colleagues. Because of you only, I got this an opportunity and I'm exploring myself. Next, any question?
Thank
With
you.
one or two questions, we can close. Anybody else?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Sir, please, Krantikiran, sir, tell me.
Sir, sir, I have a doubt, sir, a small doubt.
Please tell me.
What is the difference between artificial intelligence techniques, soft computing techniques, meta-heuristic techniques, evolutionary techniques? What is the difference? The
Okay.
same is being used in most of the cases. What is the difference between among these four?
Okay, sir. Even I am not that much familiar, but according to my knowledge, I clarify you. So actually, artificial neural network means I already mentioned in the artificial neural network only we are having all these the knowledge-based system
No,
or particle jam
artificial
optimization and
intelligence.
oh,
Artificial intelligence techniques.
yeah, in the artificial intelligence technique only we are having this artificial neural network. Soft
Yes,
computing,
sir.
your soft computing based system is like your programming based, all your programming based, and meta heuristic technique means this meta heuristic technique means already evolutionary algorithm based they will come. So even I don't have exact clarity, but they are categorized whether they are natural evaluation based technique or mathematically based technique or biologically inspired technique. Based upon that, they are categorized, sir. So exact pure difference, I don't know exactly.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Next, any another two questions? We can know another one or two questions. So participants, anybody? Anybody for another one or two questions? So before closing the session, just one thing I want to tell you. Actually, I have seen Brahmaya sir here. So Brahmaya sir was my HOD during 2004 to 2006 till my second year actually. So when I was in third year, sir left to VNR Vigyan Jyoti. I was a student of VNR Vigyan Jyoti during 2004 to 8. Beginning when I was seen, I want to tell, but actually end of the session, I want to tell you, he was my HOD. Sir actually even taught even transformers for my batch, I think, in 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am here.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir.
I recognize you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I recognize you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Majority of the times I use it to approach you. So during the counseling time also. Okay,
Rakesh sir,
so
sharing can be removed. Sharing can be stopped.
yeah, okay. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I removed the sharing.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. I think
Okay, sir.
still, if any one or two doubts, we can allow the participants. Otherwise, we can close. Any participants are willing to ask any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, we can conclude session, sir.
Sir, you have given very good information, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir, Brahmaya sir is also working in the same institute?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay, sir. Shall I close this or any?
We can go for vote of thanks, sir. Now it is
Okay.
time for vote of thanks. Thank you all participants for participating in this FDP. And thank you, Rakesh sir. In spite of your busy schedule and your college works, you have spent time for our FDP and given us a valuable webinar on overview of artificial intelligence techniques, ANN basics, characteristics of ANN, learning methods, backpropagation algorithm, and its practical application, state estimation techniques, comparison between backpropagation and state estimation technique, and also I have very excellently explained about wavelet-based neural networks, which is very useful for all research scholars and those who are doing PhD and those who are completed and those who want to do research in this area. Thank you very much, sir, for your webinar. Thank you very much, sir.
So before closing that, I want to tell you one thing, sir. Actually, today we are organizing one workshop from June 1 to 5. I was the co-coordinator. So due to that
Okay.
reason, I said come a bit late. Actually, June 1st to 5th, we are organizing a workshop. So that is why. But actually, I prioritized this workshop as I given you word priorly. But actually, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and thank you one and all. Thank you, sir. I'm
Thank you
leaving.
very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now we
Shall I
will
leave?
end the session, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
We will end the session now, sir. Thank you. Thank you one and all.